One of the rarest and most valuable modern British coins ever made, the 1971 UK Elizabeth V new pence coin. A small mistake by the Royal Mint during Britain's biggest currency change in history turned a handful of these coins into numismatic treasures worth a fortune, so make sure you watch until the very end because I'm about to reveal how to spot this incredibly rare 1971 era coin, why it's so valuable, and how one could still be sitting in your pocket change right now. The background. Let's rewind to 1971, one of the most important years in British currency history, the year of decimalisation. Before 1971, the UK used the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence, 12 pence to a shilling and 20 shillings to a pound. It was confusing, complex, and outdated for a modern economy, so on February 15, 1971, everything changed. Britain officially switched to a decimal system, 100 new pence to a pound. The most valuable errors and varieties. Off-center strikes, £3,000 to £4,000. Double-struck errors. £5,000 to £7,000. Wrong planchet errors, £10,000 to £50,000. Mule errors, £10,000 to £20,000. Record-breaking values. Let's talk about what everyone wants to know: how much are these coins worth? The standard 1971 5 new pence coin is common, worth only a few pounds in uncirculated condition. But error coins, that's where the magic begins. Off-center or double-struck, £500 to £5,000. Wrong planchet, £10,000 to £50,000. Mule error, wrong die pairing. £10,000, £50,000. Yes, you heard that right. Experts believe that a unique, unrecorded 1971 5p mule coin in perfect condition could fetch up to £1 million or more at auction today. That's more than the value of some gold bars, all for a coin you could have once used to buy a chocolate. How to identify a 1971 era 5p coin? Here's what to look for when checking your coin's weight and size. A regular 1971 5p weighs 5.65 grams and has a diameter of 23.59 millimeters. If yours feels lighter, heavier, or slightly off in shape, it might be struck on the wrong planchet design alignment. Hold your coin upright and flip it vertically. If the queen's head and reverse design aren't perfectly aligned, it's a potential error. Edge and lettering. Check for missing rim detail, double edges, or die cracks. Any strange patterns or gaps around the edge could indicate a minting mistake. Metal color and tone. If your 1971 5p looks golden, grayish, or unusually shiny, it might have been struck on a foreign or experimental blank. Strike detail. If you find anything unusual, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy its value. Instead, have it professionally graded by NGC or PCGS to authenticate. This is the 1971 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin, one of the most mysterious and sought-after British coins ever struck. Collectors around the world have been obsessed with finding these elusive 1971 mint errors, and when one appears, the bidding wars go absolutely wild. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot a 1971 era coin that could be worth a fortune. The background. Before we dive into the errors, let's go back to 1971, the year that changed British coinage forever. On February 15, 1971, known as Decimal Day, the United Kingdom made one of the biggest financial transitions in its history. It was made from bronze, weighed 7.12 grams, and had a diameter of 25.9 millimeters. The obverse showed Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, with her portrait facing right, wearing the famous. The most valuable errors and varieties. Double die obverse DDO. £1,000 to £2,000. Off-center strike error. £1,000 to £5,000. Die clash error. £2,000 to £10,000. Wrong planchet error. £10,000 to £50,000. How to identify a genuine 1971 era coin. Check for doubling. Look closely at the words new pence, the date 1971, and the Queen's profile. Doubling or blurry outlines may indicate a double die strike, a strong sign of value. Examine the metal color. The 1971 coin should be bronze. If yours looks silvery, grayish, or oddly toned, it could be struck on a wrong planchet, and that means serious money. Look for misaligned dies. A coin with slightly overlapping obverse and reverse designs could be a die rotation error, another collectible trait. Weight and size. Authentic 1971 coins weigh 7.12 grams. A deviation might mean a planchet error, a potentially massive find. If you find anything unusual, don't clean it or alter it. Get it professionally verified by a grading service like NGC or PCGS, as even a small mistake in preservation can dramatically reduce its value. Record-breaking sales and collectors, you might be wondering how much have these coins actually sold for. Let's take a look at some jaw-dropping examples from the collector market. Double strike error once sold for over £2,500 at auction in 2021. Off-center strike example brought in nearly £5,000 after fierce bidding between British collectors. A wrong planchet 2 new pence, verified by NGC, sold in the United States for £22,000 equivalent, proving that UK decimal errors are hot commodities worldwide. And theoretical unique transitional pieces, should they ever surface, could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions, much like the US 1943 bronze penny or the 1933 British penny, both of which are legendary in numismatic circles. These coins are more than metal. They're time capsules from a pivotal moment in British history, and each minting mistake tells a story of human error, innovation, and rarity. Yes, I'm talking about the 1971 UK Elizabeth I new penny coin, the very first year of Britain's decimal coins. But here's the twist: some of these coins were struck with errors so rare that they've become hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. Imagine a coin once worth just a single penny now valued at more than a luxury car or even a house. We're about to reveal the secrets, the history, and the unbelievable values. The background. To understand why the 1971 penny is so special, we have to go back to one of the biggest events in British coinage history: decimalisation. Before 1971, the British monetary system was based on pounds, shillings, and pence, an ancient, confusing structure where 12 pence made a shilling and 20 shillings made a pound. So in February 1971, Britain officially went decimal, a modern system where 100 new pence £1. The most valuable errors and varieties: off-center strike errors, £5,000 to £7,000, double struck errors, £15,000 to £20,000. Wrong planchet errors, £10,000 to £50,000. Mule errors, £30,000 to £60,000. Auction sales price and values. Let's talk about some of the amazing finds and jaw-dropping prices that have made headlines. One collector discovered a 1971 one new penny with a misaligned reverse and unusual golden tone, later confirmed as being struck on a foreign planchet. It sold privately for £12,000. Another specimen, a double-struck proof 1p, went under the hammer at a London auction for £28,000. But the most extraordinary case, a verified 1971 one new penny mule error, with mismatched dies, authenticated by experts, is rumored to have changed hands privately for over £40,000, and experts believe that if another surfaced in perfect condition, it could reach £50,000 to £1 million. How to identify a 1971 error one new penny? Here's how you can tell if your coin might be one of the valuable ones. Check the weight. A regular 1p weighs 3.56 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it may have been struck on the wrong metal. Blank. Look for off-center designs. Any coin where the Queen's portrait or the portcullis appears shifted or cut off could be an error. Examine for doubling. If the words new penny, the date, or the Queen's features appear doubled or blurry, that's a sign of a double strike. Check the color. A 1971 penny should be bronze. If it looks silver, brass, or pale, it could have been struck on a foreign planchet. Flip the coin. Hold the coin upright and flip it vertically. The obverse and reverse should align perfectly. If they don't, it might be a mule error. If you find anything unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning destroys its value. Instead, store it safely and get it authenticated by NGC, PCGS, or the Royal Mint Museum.